Here's a quick walk around of my 2006 auto sleeper Duetto on a Mark 6 transit base. Everything you see other than the number plate is included. This is pretty difficult to do, but I think you'll get the general gist. There is no rust on any of the chassis parts. In any case, you're going to get surface rust and things like exhausts and mechanical aspects, prop shafts, diffs, etc. As you can see by the body, it's pretty good under here. Continue walking around. There's that door. As you can see, it's fitted with the fuel Ormnister awning. We've also got an outside LED awning light, which is switchable from inside. A step, which is just a manual pull-out step. All usual stuff along the sides, nothing unusual. This is generally about condition more than anything else. I'm going to assume you know what a Ford Transit Auto Sleeper Duetto looks like. Rhino toe step and tow bar. This is a relatively new acquisition. We've got a camera, which is for reversing, go into the number plate housing. There's also a camera on the top, which, as you can see, is mounted. That panel up there, that's a solar panel. I'll check the specification, but it's either a 75 or 80 watt panel. Okay, moving on round. You've got the wheel arches inside and out. Sitting underneath it again. Like I say, not the easiest thing to do. The water tank was taken out recently because I managed to break the tap. As you can see, it's got a brand new tap on it, but in order to replace that, you have to take the whole tank out. But whilst it was out, it gave us the opportunity to clean it inside and out. I put new brackets on it, cleaned all the support bits and pieces on it as well whilst I was at it. Okay, let's clean up, continue. Alright, so hopefully it's giving you a fair representation of the van. I'm not going to say it's immaculate, it isn't. It is 17 years old, so 2006, but you'll struggle to find a cleaner one. Yes, it has had some paintwork, all superficial. It had some car park dings and minor scratches just through 17 years of use. So I had the bottom half all resprayed recently. But as you can see, the normal telltales are tops of the screens, wheel arches, and obviously the underneath chassis, etc. As you can see, this one's not bad. Right, inside, all standard carpets. The floor underneath the carpets is all good. I'm not going to take them out to demonstrate that aspect. There's no horrible stains or rips or tears or anything else. All the blinds are down, just so you can see them. Again, no splits, tears or anything. Fire extinguisher is relatively new. We only put that in recently. There are some thermal inside blinds, not blinds, covers, windscreen covers. In addition to which, there is also an external full windscreen thermal cover with a privacy screen built into it. I'll add some separate pictures of those. Stereo is standard, however, what I have done is updated it so it now has a unit that works in conjunction with the stereo. You only have to tune the stereo into 87.5 and then it all works through the stereo. And one of the benefits it has is it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So there we are with the seats turned around. The benefit of this is you now have the option of just using the beds. This one folds out. I'll show you that in a second. This one folds out and can be two singles rather than having to be a big double. The big double is great, but the downside of it is if you want to get out of bed at night to use a bathroom, you're crawling over one another. The benefit of this is you can just have the walkway in the middle. There you go. You now have potentially two singles. Obviously the back rest here. You can also move this one. I haven't done so just for convenience of what I'm trying to do here. If we move the other way around, give you the view from the front aspect. So two singles on the rear of the van. So other additions we've done, USB points. There's a number of these fitted throughout the van now. LED lights. These are touch lights. And the power switched on. Lights on. As you can see, you can touch them and they'll off, or they'll blue hint, or they're bright white. They're not too bright actually, just enough. This section here is the alarm, or part of the alarm sensor. Up here is a solar controller. We updated this. This came with just minding one battery, which was the leisure battery, which was fine, but we kept finding that we were constantly having to charge and mess about with the vehicle battery. So we added this additional controller, and it will float between the two as and what's required. So that's an extra. What else have we got? TV station. Some of these have a box. This one doesn't, as you can see. Maybe it did historically, but it hasn't in my ownership. All the sockets are updated. So as you can see, we've got traditional 230 sockets with USBs and then power sockets. We have this with an Avtex TV and a soundbar. Works fine. Obviously those aren't included because they will be going in our new van. Small table is stored down there. There is a bigger table which still works with a post, which fits in the back of a side sofa, which I'll show you, which fits down the back there, has its own space, so it's out of the way when it's not in use. Again, another light and another on that side. The switch just above the light there is for the outside awning. Well, awning light, I should say. So it's convenient to access when it's dark. This is just a Fiamma additional bin that's on the sliding door. Just keeps ideal for keeping knickknacks in, keys, etc., etc. Oven, hob. So you've got three gas burners. It's quite dark in here actually. Let me come back to you in a moment when I've opened all the blinds and the skylights, etc. Right, before we move on to the cooker, etc., etc., let's have a look at some of the storage. So this is the storage underneath the side seat on the passenger side. So this vehicle has 3 seat belts, which is a bit odd because obviously you can only sleep 2 unless you're really good friends. But yeah, so there's a seat belt there. There's the clip for it. We used to use it for our dog. We've got a little dog for his securing his basket in when we're travelling, but it's not been used for anything else. So that's the box underneath. You can access the box either through the side door or underneath with this chair slid forward, so whichever is more convenient. There's a safe underneath the front passenger seat, just there, and it is the full amount underneath that section, so it's quite deep, and it's a good 6-8 inches deep, the side of that chair. Other storage above the cab, you've got this storage. These are the other 2 infill panels if you want to use it as a double bed. These are the curtains, which we never use because, as we mentioned, we've got the screen covers, etc. There you've got the table leg and the awning wind out. Again, no horrible marks or anything anywhere. So that's quite a big thing. We use Duvet. We use 2 single duvets, and they rolled up. They'll fit in there with the Duvet pillows and some other bits and pieces as well. So it's bigger than it looks. It's quite a big unit. You know, these cushions are not small. Yeah. That's a good 15, 18 inches wide and a good 6, 8 inches tall. And there's still loads of room in there. That will come with it. Full transit workshop manual. Never had to use it, but it's there. Other cupboards. These are all fairly generic. They are quite small, if I'm honest, but I know if they're for tins and things like that, they're usable. They're not too bad. I know we get by. This section's quite big. I don't know why it's so deep, but it's a good, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches deep, just for putting nicks and knacks, phones, wallets, keys, etc., just so they're out of the way. And then the other large section of storage is underneath this bigger bed, which just folds up like that. And you can see all your storage, and you can again see there is a front door to it as well, so you can access it that way. But again, it's quite big. And even this section here, I put my iPad and things like that if I'm out and about. A, so it doesn't fly around the van, but also it's a bit more secure if anybody happens to look in, we know where it is. So there are little hiding places throughout the van that you can utilise like that. But when you own it, you come to understand that. Down here, whilst we're in this section, you've got the release for the seat. You've got the inlet for the just air circulation is what that one's for. This one is for the Truma Ultra Store if you're using gas for heating the water. And this one is for the electric aspect of the water heater. So when you get on site, just turn it on and it gets pretty hot pretty quick. You wouldn't want to leave it on because you end up using too much water because you're trying to cool it down all the time. So you're better off putting it on for a while and then turning it back off. Here we've got just an internal, external temperature gauge, if you can see that. But the bottom one shows you the interior temperature, and the top one shows you the outside temperature. The sensor is inside the fridge vent outside, so it doesn't get wet. So moving on. This is where we got to previously. So 3 gas burners, as you can see, all very good condition, all working perfectly. And then we've got the grill. Again, works perfectly, nice and clean. The oven. Again, same applies. And it's all been used, but it's still very clean. And then you've got storage underneath for your pots and pans and the like, and also your shut-off valves and your fuse panel as well. In here, I'll move this first. This is the front screen cover. This is the thermal front screen cover, and it's relatively light. And you just have to find somewhere to put it when you're travelling, which is why it's just laying in the centre aisle there. So in here, again, quite deep. This is primarily where all your foodstuffs are stored. And it's quite big. The downside with it is we didn't have, some of these vans come with a slide out here for putting, like your cutlery, etc. in. Well, this one didn't, so I had to make one. So that's what that drawer is for, and it's a bit bigger than your standard thing, so you can put other sections in here as well. This section doesn't open because it's where your sink is. This is the infill panel from behind this chair. Let me just get rid of that and I'll come back to you. Okay, so over towards the sink area. Above the sink, you get the control panel. It's pretty basic. Turn the light on. So you get the control panel. Just shows between habitation and vehicle. The master switch, you turn that off, turns everything off. And then you've got battery, water, the gauge in the middle switches between the water and the battery, as per the switch above. Then you've got the water pump, and then the master for the lights. Over here, you've got the diesel heater, which has a vent just down on the edge of where the sofa is. You come down, the bottom part is the vent. It gets really hot, really quick, hardly uses any diesel at all. It does click, and all these diesel heaters do, but you get used to it. It's quite rhythmic. You get used to it. It's not a problem at all. Again, updated switch. This one also has 2 USB sockets built into it as well. Again, more USB sockets here, and your standard 230, which is where your kettle would normally go. Fridge, compact fridge. It is a 3-point fridge, so it'll work on your battery alternator, or it'll work on 230 volt, or it'll work on gas. Has a very small freezer compartment, but the whole point of these small vans is that they're small enough to go for a regular shop. So once you run out of food, you hook up, or, load your stuff up, shoot out. Doesn't take long to put this van away at all. In driving mode, go to your local supermarket, stock up again. Big fridges are really only designed for big vans, because you need them to be able to store your food for a week or so. In here, just storage panels. These stretch. It's a bit of a trait with these, and you'll notice that none of these ones in here are. There's 2 more here above the sliding door. They were stretched, but my wife took them apart, rebuilt them, put them all back together again, which is why they look as good as they do. So that's the top one. There's another one here at the bottom, and there's one in the other side as well. This section here is just a fold down element which helps when serving, etc., because clearly the kitchen is not huge, but then again it's a 5.5 metre van, and this is almost the same sort of size as a VW, yet within this you've got all the full cooking facilities, full sleeping facilities, and a bathroom, which we'll get to next. In the bathroom you have a divider panel, which is here, which literally is a privacy panel. In essence, all it does, it unfolds and it folds across to this section here. So if you're getting changed in the back of the van, it adds a little bit more privacy. To be honest, we took it off because we didn't really need it. Again, because we've got the thermal screen in the front, no one can see what you're doing anyway, unless you want them to. So we just took it out because it just adds additional weight. So in here, there's a couple of these. I'll come to the other ones in a moment. This is a rechargeable LED light, but the benefit of it is it comes on when it's dark, when you just open the door. So if you need to use a bathroom at night, you just open the door, the light comes on. It's not stupidly bright. It doesn't bother anybody else in the van, etc., etc. It's just a bit more convenient. Hanging pole, window, top vent. And there is a big light in here, but it is quite bright. And you turn that on at night and it does light up the whole van. So that's why we put the USB one in. Shower, base. We normally have this in there, which again, that'll go with the van. We don't need to take it out. Just because we're at the bottom of the shower, because we've basically winterized the van. So all the water is all drained down and everything else, which is why that shower handle is laying in the bottom of the shower. Toilet, you know what a toilet is. It all works, it's all functional, there's nothing broken on it. It's all clean. And then you've got the hand basin, which is just the traditional drop down with your taps, etc. Toothbrush holders, which is what they are for. And above those, you have a little cupboard just for storing your shower bits and pieces and whatever you need in a bathroom, really. Same both sides. One side's the same. Except this one's only got the bottom bits, this one's for taller bits and pieces. Whereas this side's got 2 separate elements to it. Shower curtain. And we've never used the shower. I know a lot of people do. A lot of people use sites. And if you're only away for a weekend or whatever, it ain't the end of the world. But it is there. It is convenient to have it there if you do need it. That's the shower. bathroom facility, washroom facility, whatever you want to call it. Then in here is where your clothing goes. So we updated the aerial on this van, which you will see in another picture I've got. It normally had one of these aerials that you push up and then you turn and direct, and so an omnidirectional one. Actually, I don't know if it is omnidirectional, but nevertheless, it's a directional one. It wasn't necessary for this van, so we took it out and we just put in a status aerial. So the big pole that used to hang down here is now gone, and it gives you this space back in this cupboard. These two more of these LEDs that say rechargeable, and when you open the door, they come on. It's just a bit more convenient. That section there has got the backs of the sockets and also the back of the seatbelt. The bottom section is filled in because that's where the back of the gas bottle cabinet is. There will be a gas bottle included with the van. I can't tell you how full it is. In fact, I would say it's relatively empty. It still works, it's still got gas in it, but I'm not going to say to you it's going to last another 2 weeks because it may not. But it has still got gas in it. I think that's it. If there's any questions or anything, feel free to get in touch.